Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah OJ and this is a Married to Medicine review, season 10, episode 1. If you saw my Real Housewives of Potomac review, you'll know I'm not feeling very well, so if at any point my nose sounds a little bit stuffy or my voice sounds a little bit I'm sorry for that, but we move. So we get it cracking pretty quickly. That's what I love about Married to Medicine, just straight to the mesh, you know? So we're with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie at this department store called The Vault, where they buy all of these fabulous couture items, and Phaedra comes in. Phaedra Parks, as we know, is now on the cast of Married to Medicine. Phaedra is wearing this jumpsuit that is all kinds of mesh everywhere. You know, the type you see on all the IG baddies and the Love and Hip Hop clan. And I just want to say, far be it from me to critique a woman based on what she wears, because honestly I really don't give a fuck like that. But it is starting to bug me that this is starting to become part of ordinary attire, even for the girls in their 20s. Because it's not like they're that nice as like items of clothing. You don't really see them, they're like, oh, that is so cute. Oh, that's nice. Like, the whole purpose is for your cheeks to be out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's for people to admire your body, like every part of your body. It's fine for, like, you know, a night out in Vegas, a bachelorette party, or a hen night as we call it over here, you know? So I feel like there's certain occasions where you can definitely wear them, but I just every day, like, is it every day? I'm just saying. And like I said, those are when it applies to the young girls. When it's women of Phaedra's age, I'm like, ma'am, don't. Do not. Just wear a nice dress. There's things you can wear that can still make people have the same effects. Look at your curves, be like, damn, do you know what I mean? Like, there's still dresses and things that you could, even jumpsuits, just not ones with mesh all around. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, maybe that's a sign that I'm getting older too, but I'm just saying, like, and it's not just Phaedra. I do the same when I watch Basketball Wives, and I've been seeing these women just wear all of these, like, gym fits, like, everywhere. I'm just like, what is wrong with regular clothes? Like, I just don't understand. You know, on an ordinary night out, you're not going to be wearing that. So I just don't see the need, just because you're on camera, to look like a Fashion Nova model. I just don't see the need for it, but we move. Phaedra talks about her man, who she is now no longer with, as we know. He's a doctor, he's Nigerian. You know, they love a rich African man over there on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And they had the nerve to hide that man's face with an emoji-like illustration. I was like, are you being fucking serious? So we can't even see his face? You know what? Fine, whatever. It doesn't even matter if he's not her man anymore. Whatever. They also talk about Quad and how she doesn't really hang out with a woman much anymore. Heavenly thinks it's because her feelings are hurt and she doesn't have time to cater to Quad's ego. Now, Heavenly, yes, Quad is sensitive, but you also went around saying that that woman is sleeping with a married man. I think she had a right to be sensitive in that scenario. You don't think? Like, what do you mean cater to her ego? So basically you don't have time to not spread rumors about her? Okay, Heavenly. This is when they bring up that Phaedra met Quad through Dr. Greg and apparently dated him at one point. Heavenly blatantly asked her if they smashed, and she says no, but like Heavenly said, we can't really believe anything that Phaedra says, so... But if I had to guess, they probably did. Just because, I mean, in Atlanta, you know, the black community is small, period. We are a minority. And they've been socializing for the past 20 years. And when she talked about, you know, how she's known him since the day he got to Atlanta, I was like, yeah, bitch, you weren't trying to be his friend. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a little history, but it didn't sound like it was anything serious. At the same time all this is going on, Dr. Simone and Cecil are having Eugene and Toya over for dinner. Toya and Eugene are talking about how their relationship is much better than it was last year, thanks to Dr. Simone and Cecil. And they do look happier. There seemed to be a nice light vibe there, and they looked good individually as well, because they were talking about how Eugene lost weight later on in the episode, but it looked like Toya had lost a bit of weight as well. So they both looked like they were doing well, and yeah, it didn't seem like they have the normal angst and, you know, just like moodiness to them that they usually do, so good for them. Maybe it wasn't all Dr. Simone and Cecil either. Maybe it had something to do with not selling their house this time, you know, sitting their ass down where they're at. You know, maybe they had a little something to do with it as well. At the end of the day, all that does add stress onto your relationship, I'm sure. They also discussed Dr. Greg and his new wife, who ended up joining them for dinner later. There's a lot of heavy shade being thrown at Quad during this dinner, and it really confused me. Like, the women took their 1-2 jabs as they always do, but it was really Cecil that made me clutch my pearls. The way he was like, oh, I've never seen Dr. G look this happy as when he is when he's with his new wife, and yeah, he really leveled up. I was like, whoa! That seemed highly unnecessary. I was really confused. Like, did Quad do something to Simone last season that I forgot about? Because that just seemed so out of nowhere. And also, this is how you know straight men just should not throw shade, because they don't know how to do it. Because he low-key set her up, because I'm sorry. When he said leveled up and then they showed that picture with her hair looking all crazy. Let me not go in too much on Sweet Tea today, aesthetic wise, because as I mentioned at the start of the episode, I'm not feeling too well. So you are lucky that I was able to throw on my wig and put a little bit of makeup on today, because this was the best I was going to achieve today. So I don't really have too much of a leg to stand on, so let me chill. But the way they put up that picture of her with her hair looking all crazy after he said leveled up, I said, you low-key set this bitch up, because even throughout the episode, I was just looking at her like, so none of these women really fuck with you for real. See, I personally know that if I was ever going to come on a show like Married to Medicine, I would 100% get a stylist. And I like the way I look, and I think that I can make myself look good when I need to. But I wouldn't say that hair and makeup is high on my list of skills at the moment. And when you're doing it for camera, that's a whole different ballgame. That's why it takes a lot of the women on these reality shows seasons to look a certain way, because it's a whole lot of skill and a lot of them don't have it, which is why they have stylists. So I know for a fact that none of these women can fuck with G's new wife like that, because none of them put her on game. And it's a damn shame, because how can you come on Big Bravo like this? Especially when you came to stunt on your man's ex. Like, girl, it just wasn't quite the picture that Cecil was trying to paint for us. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyway, so Dr. Gregory's new wife, her name is Lateasha Palmer, aka Sweet Tea. Sounds like a pimp name, but we'll move on. So there's me thinking they met through mutual friends or something like the rest of the black community in Atlanta. The way they met is she slid into Dr. G's DMs and said, I can give you what you need. Oh, ew. Ew. Oh, the thirst. Oh, the thirst. Gross. I was like, oh, and you're proudly talking about it on camera. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sorry. She's 31, young, but only a year older than me, so I can't really go in about her age too much, but she's definitely young for Dr. G. I'm trying really hard not to judge her off of episode 1, because at the end of the day, we don't know this girl, and she does seem like a nice enough person, but I can't lie, at the moment, nearly everything she says and does, it's giving lame bitch. I'm sorry, I'm trying, but it's giving lame bitch. But I will say, I guess props to her for landing a doctor just by simply sliding into his DMs with very minimal effort on her part. So yeah, that's the most I can say about her in a positive light at the moment. I can't lie to you. Heavenly is shopping with Allura, and I just had to throw this part in simply just to say how crazy it is, how much Allura has grown. This is one of my favorite parts of watching shows like Real Housewives and Married to Medicine over the years, because we get to see their kids grow gradually as well. And it's so crazy when you get to the later seasons, you're like, oh my god, you're like a big woman now. Like, she looks so good as well. She looks so pretty, and she's just so cute. Like, I just thought it was so adorable seeing her and Heavenly going shopping for her dress. It also reminded me that I need to go shopping for my graduation dress, because I am about to graduate next month with a journalism and media degree. Yay, 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 good for me. And I'm very much a last minute Lucy, and I have not bought my graduation dress yet, so this scene kind of low-key stressed me out as well. But anyway, we move. So Dr. G and his new fiance, a pimp named Sweet Tea, are having a hoedown themed engagement party. I'm with Dr. Heavenly on this one. That's certainly an interesting choice. I'm just saying, I get it, she wanted to bring the Texas theme, but I just feel like she should have done that for another event. Like, a hoedown engagement party is just tacky, but that's just me. We also meet Latisha's twin sister, Kanisha. Very cute. I was actually very shocked to hear that they were fraternal twins, because they looked exactly identical to me, but their childhood pictures were just adorable. So I'm actually interested to see a little bit more about their relationship. When Jackie walked in, she mentioned how weird it was to walk into a house that she's always known as Quad's house as Dr. G and his new wife's house. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be weird. Like, even seeing the changes around the house and stuff, like giving it a redesign, it would have just been so strange, especially having been friends with Quad for so long. I could definitely see why her friends would be like, this is a weird situation. Heavenly brings a friend called Dr. Alicia, and she brings her husband, who is called Dr. Kemmer. So apparently they used to live in DC, but they've now moved to Atlanta. Toya asked her if she's going to be moving to Heavenly's practice, and Dr. Alicia said firmly no. And she basically just said that she didn't want to mix their friendship with business, which is fair enough. It's probably simpler just to keep things separate on that regard. Toya's also mentioned a couple times in the episode how Heavenly's being really nice to her, which is nice to see. I mean, we know Dr. Heavenly's throwing shade in her interviews, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, she's like, let's see how long that will last. Probably not very long. The group asked Lateasha what she likes the most about being engaged, and she said having more access to the money. I said, what? bitch, are you serious? See, even if it was a joke, which it wasn't, she was being serious. Even if it was a joke, it is quite crass to repeat that to this group. Because remember, they're not her friends. This is his group of friends that she's getting to know. So when the optics already look a bit like, you know, you're young, you slid in his DMs, rich doctor on a reality show, it already looks that way anyway. So for you to just blatantly say it to them like that, and she didn't even say she was joking afterwards, unless they cut it out. She didn't even clarify, be like, just kidding, not really. She didn't even lie. Oh, it's just ironic because the way they were trying to act like Quad was only with Dr. G for his money, which she probably was. Like, you know, Quad came from humble beginnings and she probably did go for Dr. G because he has a certain status and some cha-ching. But at the same time, you could tell in the relationship, Quad loved that man. I really think she did. And I think he loved her too. It's just, they had a toxic relationship. It was never going to work out in the end. So, yeah, I think that they were being unfair when they were trying to act like Quad was just being a gold digger. I think she did love Dr. G as well. But it's just funny, the irony of it. Because Quad was classy enough not to act like that. Do you know what I mean? This bitch blatantly just said, oh, this doctor dodo. Like, oh my god, that was funny. Heavenly asked Sweet Tea if she'd ever been called a gold digger. And she was like, not really, no. I'm told, what's that mean? Not really, no. Just say no. Like, basically, yeah, but no. Then Heavenly said something interesting. She said, Quad is a gold digger. Sweet Tea is digging for copper. She don't really know what gold is. And I caught that. I was like, is she trying to say that Dr. G don't have any real money? Is that what she's trying to say? Because obviously Quad was married to him, so is she trying to say that Quad is now onto bigger and shinier things? I just caught that. I don't know if she was just talking because you know Heavenly sometimes just be saying shit, but I caught that and I was wondering what she meant by that. The conversation then moves on to Quad again, and Toya said she doesn't really know why she doesn't want to come around them anymore. Phaedra said she actually just spoke to Quad recently and she doesn't think there's any animosity between her and them. Then Toya with her messy self asks Phaedra if she'll be covering Quad's DUI case. And Phaedra said, DUI? Who said that? Phaedra said she's never heard of any such DUI case, so she could neither confirm nor deny. I'm not gonna lie, in the moment I thought Phaedra was capping, especially since she knows Quad well. I was like, I'm sure if Quad is your good friend like it seems, she would have at least mentioned to you if you still have your license. I don't know if she's still practicing, but if she does, then I'm sure Quad would have mentioned it in passing just in case she might need a lawyer, or she would have just heard in the streets. You know, Phaedra's one of those people that keeps her ears to the streets but acts like she don't know nothing. So I found it hard to believe that she didn't know anything, but I'm not gonna lie, if she did, she has an amazing poker face, because when I rewound it and I looked at her face, she genuinely looked shocked in the moment. Like, she looked at her like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, she really looked confused. So she might have just been working on her poker face and got it down pat. But yeah, who's to say? At this point, a pimp named Sweet Tea is getting really annoyed that they're talking about Quad at her engagement party, which I get, but bitch, let's not do this. Like, you know that when you're here, whenever you're around, we're going to talk about Quad. Quad is the only reason you're here in the first place. We don't care about you on your own. The only reason why you got this opportunity is because you are the new wife of Quad's ex-husband. So you can't now be surprised and be throwing your toys out the pram whenever she's brought up around you. Like, I get it's your engagement party, but it's not your real engagement party. Let's be real. I'd hope that off camera, you'll have a little bit more of a classy put together than a hoedown engagement party, you know? So at that party, I'm sure they didn't talk about Quad. Heavenly immediately asked why she didn't refer her to Dr. Jackie. And I'm not gonna lie, we know that Heavenly's messy as hell, but I thought the exact same thing before Heavenly even said it. Because at the end of the day, where it comes to women's vaginas on Married to Medicine, Dr. Jackie is the first person you think of. However, Dr. Simone's response was fair enough, that Jackie is a general surgeon and she referred Lateasha to a specialist, which is fair enough. And obviously Simone can pretty much do what Dr. Jackie does too and didn't do it herself. So she probably genuinely thought that this specialist was better served to treat Sweet Tea. To treat Sweet Tea, that sounds so weird. Heavenly doesn't drop it so easily though, and she's asking why not keep the money within the friendship circle. And that's when Simone started to lose her rag and tell Heavenly she didn't even know what the fuck she was talking about. And I think she got loud and reactive a little too easily and quickly, as per usual. Because as far as Heavenly's messy meter goes, this was like a 3, you know? This was quite low on the scale, especially since she started with a good enough question. So I feel like Dr. Simone shouldn't have given her all of that. But hey, Dr. Simone loves to fight with Heavenly at this point. I'm not gonna lie, for the last couple seasons now, she likes to try and fool us like Dr. Heavenly is doing this, she's getting on my nerves, she's being messy. And she is, Dr. Heavenly is messy, but at the same time, I feel like Simone likes it. Like, I feel like she likes to fight with her. She likes her voice to be elevated to a 10 when she's talking to Heavenly. It's really funny. I get why Dr. Simone's like, shut up, Heavenly, but that's all she had to say, just like, shut up, be quiet, like, or just just ignore her, basically. But all the shouting, everybody was like, damn, I was just asking a question, relax. And Sweet Tea had to kind of just cut between them, elaborate that she went to Dr. Simone because that's who G referred her to. And G apparently said that Simone is like his sister and she'll take good care of her. And Dr. Jackie had a really sweet response and said, yeah, and you'll be in really good hands with her. And everyone was like, oh, that's really nice. But I'm not gonna lie, Dr. Jackie did look a bit hurt. I don't know if it had more to do with Greg referring her to Simone in the first place. I don't even really think it was about this specialist. I think it was something about Dr. G referring Dr. Simone to his wife, or now wife, then fiance, and saying, oh, this is my sister, you'll be in good hands. But hey, to be honest, he probably is a little bit closer to Simone than he is to Dr. Jackie. Yeah, it probably wasn't any shade in it. But Jackie did look hurt. I could just be reading into that. But anybody watching, let me know what you thought about that, because I was curious as to whether I picked up on that correctly or not. A pimp named Sweet Tea and Greg are going to get their marriage license. They're moaning about how everybody was talking about Quad in their engagement party like anybody cared about anything else they had to say. And at one point in this conversation, Sweet Tea said, there's a new sheriff in town. I was just like, you see what I mean about this girl being lame? Like, just everything she says is just giving lame. Like, oh, stop talking, secondhand embarrassment, cringe. As they're getting their marriage license, Dr. G talks about how things are great right now and they're not really seeing any real red flags. Then they do a flash forward to the next few weeks where they show us the upcoming red flags. In one of the flash forwards, Dr. G is stressing about paying for the wedding and Sweet Tea blatantly looks at him and says, why are you stressed about it? All you're doing is pay for it. Like... it's kind of Dr. G's comeuppance that she's being so blatant about being a gold digger. She's literally showing us and him that she just looks at him like an ATM. Like, it's just coming out of your pockets. Ugh, what are you so upset about? Like, just pay for it, nigga. Like, stop crying. I'm sorry. That scene was so funny to me. Then they cut to Heavenly FaceTiming Toya and Phaedra, and Heavenly is saying that Sweet Tea has said that Dr. G is controlling. Basically, she's echoing all the shit that Quad said about Dr. Greg. Isn't that funny? Almost as if Quad wasn't just talking shit. And I'm so glad that Heavenly said that with Toya there, because you could tell at the beginning when they were talking about their abuse, Toya was very careful not to say that it looked like it was anybody's fault. Like, she was just saying, oh, how scary it was. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Thank God Dr. G's in a better situation kind of thing. The fact that they all kind of entered into thank God Dr. G's with a better partner, they were absolutely trying to put it on Quad and act like she was the abusive one in the relationship. So I'm so glad that Heavenly echoed that to Toya. So I'm so glad that Heavenly took this back to Toya as well. And then they cut to Dr. Gregory having dinner with Phaedra, and Phaedra asked him, did you feel like a little predator? And Dr. Gregory says, I didn't know if I was predator or prey. So basically implying that he thinks this woman was after him for his money. Pretends to be shocked. Like, nigga, what did you think she was there for? She's a young 30-year-old woman that slid in your DMs after watching you on a reality show. What did you think she was here for? He's doing a Gordon. Why do these older rich men really delude themselves into thinking that this women are not here for their bank accounts? Like, let's be serious. It's one thing if you meet a woman and you actually grow with her over the years and build a relationship together, as he had done with Quad. Then there is clearly something here other than financial gain. And even in that situation, you can't always be sure. Look at Mia up in and leaving Gordon. After 2 kids and years together, she still dipped as soon as the money left. So yeah, you can never be too sure when you know the reason why they made a beeline for you in the first place was because of your money. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not even against women going for men with money. I'm just saying men need to stop acting like the victim in these situations because they know what it is. A lot of the times, this is the reason why men like him make money like that. So spare me with all of this. Oh my God, I was prey. Shut up. They cut to Dr. G's bachelor party over here in the UK. We call it a stag night. They're having hella strippers on this party bus, it seems. And he says if he pulls his pants down, he's not pulling them back up. And the way he yelled it, he meant business. At the same moment, I'm assuming, Sweet Tea is having her bachelorette party, hen night for us. And messy old Phaedra walks in with Quad in tow. And as a viewer, I am very much here for the chaos that's about to ensue. Very much here for it. I think Married to Medicine are about to deliver a good season. I have to say, I think it's going to be better than Real Housewives of Potomac. I do. But who's to say? There's one thing about Real Housewives of Potomac cast. They know how to serve up drama and still somehow make it authentic because they are actually tapping into real stuff, even though they are overly producing themselves, if that makes sense. So we will see. My main takeaways watching this episode are, I feel like Dr. G only got this far in marrying this woman because he deluded himself every step of the way that this was the perfect thing for him because she's so different to Quad. And this is the danger in making those type of decisions. And I'm actually speaking on myself when I say this as well, because I'm guilty of that. When you get into a situation that's so unlike a problematic or bad one that you've been in previously, and you're looking at all the differences and all the ways they are not like what you've had and thinking, oh, this is great. Absolutely, give me some more of this because this is nothing like what I had before, so this must be perfect. And the problem with doing that is you still have your past experience in the back of your mind and using it as a base to make these decisions. So essentially, you're still kind of making decisions off of your past trauma, let's say, for lack of a better term. So I think that until you fully gotten over that situation and have it in the back of your mind and are able to look at a new relationship as literally just a fresh new start and not just compare it to the likes of what you had before that you don't like, until you're in that place, you're not really going to see it for what it really is, which is why he's got himself in a position like this where he's married this woman and not understood that she's a gold digger. Don't understand how he got here. Aren't you a doctor? Isn't your major in psychology? I don't quite understand how you got here and didn't even realize it, but whatever. I understand if it was just a fling, but marriage, a whole ring, sir. Different doesn't necessarily mean better, and different doesn't necessarily mean right for you either. Cast choices. I barely realized that Dr. Contessa wasn't there, so they made a great choice cutting her loose, or I think she actually left. But either way, happy to see her gone because she was annoying me the last couple seasons, I can't lie. And yeah, didn't really even notice she was gone. So I would have actually liked to see Anila back because I liked her, and I also think that if she was still in the cast now, Quad would be around more, because I think the reason why Quad is not around, other than the fact that Dr. G's wife is there, I think it's also because she doesn't really trust the allies that she currently has, because the people Quad fucks with the most on the cast are Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Jackie, and Dr. Simone when it suits her. Dr. Heavenly cannot be trusted because she has a loose mouth, so you can't trust Heavenly. Dr. Jackie is a good friend, but she'll kind of stay out of it. Like, when Quad needs someone to kind of back her, because it will get to that point where it kind of will be them against Quad, because it always happens, Dr. Jackie's probably not going to be that vocal. And Dr. Simone, I'm not going to lie, for the past few seasons now, to me, it's looked like Dr. Simone does not really fuck with anybody but Toya. I don't know when that happened, but it seemed that her and Jackie are not as close as they used to be. And they're just getting kind of further and further apart. I know they had their season where they beefed and then made up again, but it didn't quite ever seem like they connected back again. I don't know. Like the old Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie that would have lunch together and Kiki, it just doesn't look like that's where their relationship is at anymore. So for me, I think that Simone is a bit weird where it comes to a relationship with all the women, including Quad. And I think for a while now, she's kind of used any little excuse to beef with Quad. And I really don't know why, because everything that went down with Quad last season, I don't even know why Simone felt so emboldened to do all of that to Quad. Like, I'm genuinely trying to think, was there a beef with Quad and Simone that I've completely forgotten about? I feel like I might have forgotten something. I might have to go back. But yeah, I just think that Simone and her relationship with Quad is a bit iffy. So I feel like if I were Quad, I would feel like I don't really want to go into that lion's den right now. I just can't be bothered with these women. I'm not even really on the show like that. Like, I'm not married to medicine, as they keep saying. So I'd probably only be on the show as like a little side character. And I just can't be bothered to deal with all of this stressful bullshit just to be a side. You know, like, I think that's how Quad is feeling. But if Anila were on the cast, I think that Anila was her real friend. Like, I think that that was the person that Quad could rely on last season to kind of have her back when it was needed. So I think that that would change the dynamic a little bit this season if she was still here. And I also do like Anila. I liked her husband. I liked her family. Like, I know she wasn't like a popular character amongst the fans, but I liked her. I wouldn't have minded seeing Audra back on the show either. I think she gave us enough last seasons to deserve another season. Plus, she's pregnant, so her life is progressing in a way that would pique enough interest in the audience to have her back. But who's to say? I don't even know really what happened with her. She might have chosen not to come back. Also, she wasn't scared to get in Toya's ass, and I like that, because Toya can be a real bitch, and it was good to see a new girl unafraid to put her in her place. She went a little bit far where it came to the party when she was trying to swing on her, I admit. But it was good to see Audra not let Toya punk her. So far, Phaedra being part of the cast isn't wowing me. Honestly, it could be anybody, but I suspected I'd feel this way when I saw that she was joining it. I wasn't like too mad at it. I've never been part of the crew that's been begging for Phaedra to come back on Real Housewives, I will admit, because I think she did a really bad thing, so the punishment was not unjust, in my opinion. So I've never been part of the people begging for her to come back. What is happening in her life that people think would be so eventful on the show? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of missing that, I think. But I was a little bit curious to see how she would mesh and fit with Married to Medicine, considering they all kind of know each other and are friends anyway, and it was a new dynamic, so I was a little bit curious in that aspect, but I didn't really expect my jaw to be dropped, and so far it's not. My jaw is very much up here. I just know my wig is doing the most at the moment, and I know it's karma for me dragging Sweet Tea. I'm sorry, Lord. Don't do that to me. I know, I'm sorry. This is why I try not to talk about people's looks, because now look at me and I can tell. I can feel it. What I will say though, it was really nice to see Dylan. Oh my god, Dylan has grown. Like I said, it's so nice to see the kids when they've grown. Oh my god, he was so cute. So yeah, that was nice. But apart from that, Phaedra. But yeah, on the whole, it looks like Married to Medicine are going to give us what we want this season. And I'm very intrigued to see how the rest of it is going to play out. I very much am. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching my review. I really appreciate it. Please let me know what you thought. Let me know what you thought of the episode as well. I love to chat about TV, reality shows especially. So let me know of your opinions. Comment below, like the video, and also subscribe to my channel for more reviews. As well as Married to Medicine, I'm going to be doing Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm also going to be doing Basketball Wives. I said in the Real Housewives of Potomac review that I am going to be uploading Basketball Wives review 3 and 4 this week. So watch out for that. And I also have yet to deliver the last 2 episodes of The Other Black Girls, episode 9 and 10. I promise you they're coming. I've already done them. It's literally just editing. I was so busy last week and then I got sick. So please forgive me, anybody that's waiting for it. But anyway, that's me for today. And in the meantime, bye.